refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
What up? Welcome back to Dave's Doghouse. I know I've been out for about a week, but Dave's Doghouse is back this week. Can't wait to start today's show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I am live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Follow me on all platforms. That is my IG page. Follow me on IG. Yeah, I got some really good things to talk about today. But before I get started, man, just thank you for everyone that's been watching. Everyone that's been paying attention to the show. You know, we went live recently for the NFL draft on Thursday night on CTC with Carl. So appreciate y'all, everyone that tuned in. And then Friday, we had about 45 people watching us live at that time. So we appreciate everyone that tuned in at that time as well. But yeah, it's been a crazy week, crazy weekend, and I got some stuff to talk about. I know it's been some touchy subjects that some people have yet to talk about. The NBA playoffs are going on right now, so we got to talk about those things as well. But man, I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that's going on right now. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start the show so we can get everyone in tune to what I got to talk about today. So at Dave's Doghouse, there's something we have here called puppy chow. Puppy chow are for those that do not do well. Those are people that are being put in the doghouse. And we have 3 candidates today that are being put in the doghouse. And as I said before, one of these subjects are touchy. But it still needs to be talked about. And then we have dogs of the week, and we got the big dog. The big dog, y'all might be surprised who I have as the big dog. Because I don't know, his team are they're really good. They are really good. But first inductee into the doghouse today. This team here has had some controversy going on throughout the second half of the season. Haven't been really good against top teams in the NBA. Best player has had some controversy himself. And if you look at what happened in this playoffs, you probably believe that they were better off just staying at home. Who am I referring to? I am talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies, people, have just been swept out of the playoffs. Not only have they been swept out of the playoffs, do you know that there wasn't one person on that team that averaged over 20 points per game in this series? Not one. Now, John Morant gets the excuse because he got injured, and he was pretty much non-existent. Team pretty much was non-existent after that. But they also didn't have a person on the team average double-digit rebounds. from what I remember, Jaren Jackson Jr. was considered a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. But in this series alone, he only averaged 5 rebounds per game. I don't understand how he can be a Defensive Player of the Year when defensive rebounding is a part of that. And he just wasn't doing his job on that part of this game. Zach Edey, who's a rookie, don't get me wrong, he is tall, but he only averaged 8 rebounds per game. That's not good enough. Desmond Bane, who was, everyone know he's a really good player. He averaged about 35 minutes per game, but he only averaged a measly 15.3 points per game. Now, that has a lot to do with the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense. But you can't have one person average 20 points per game, and then you got swept. I mean, this is kind of sort of what's going to happen when you fire your head coach before the playoffs come. So this is kind of your fault. I already talked about the GM having to, pretty much fire his head coach before they even get to the playoffs, when there were literally 8 games left in the regular season before they got to the playoffs. I mean, we know another team that did the same thing, and they're 2-2 right now. So I guess it's okay for them. But the Memphis Grizzlies, they have nothing to stand on. They can't hold water. The team averaged 100 points, which is okay, I guess. But in this day and age, you got to average at least 110, 115 points per game to compete nowadays, because this is an offensive game now. It's not that much of a defensive game. But the Oklahoma City Thunder held everyone in this series to under 20 points per game. Ja averaged 18.3, and he missed the last game. And missed the third quarter on in game 3. And speaking of game 3, they were up 29 points, 26 points at halftime. And they still figured out a way to lose that game. Yes, I understand John Morant went down, but you're up 29 points in that game and you can't hold a 29-point lead? Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Scottie Pippen Jr. can't do enough? Scottie Pippen Jr. had 23 points at halftime. But they still can't do anything. Desmond Bane has shot abysmal in this series. I don't know. I don't know what was up with Desmond Bane in this series, but he did nothing well in this series. In the last game, he shot 25% from 3 and shot 35% from the 35% from the field. I don't know how that's going to get you to where you want to be. I mean, from what I remember and my recollection is that John Morant was upset that the offense wasn't flowing through him. Even with the offense flowing through him, while he was healthy, they still couldn't get a win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, it possibly could have happened if he stayed healthy and in that game where they were up 29 points. But even the team couldn't do anything outside of that. And Scottie Pippen Jr. was the second leading scorer in the series. Jaren Jackson Jr. is an all-NBA defensive player. You got Desmond Bane, who's been known to be a really good player in this league. And he's streaky, but he's had games where he can pretty much take over a game. And now, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to figure out to move some pieces? I mean, I guess it's a good thing that Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't win the Defensive Player of the Year, because then they would have a whole lot of money that they would have to pay him. But the Grizzlies just don't look like a promising team in the future for for right now or later on. I'm not sure who their head coach is going to be next. Who knows? They might go after Mike Malone. I don't know. I don't know who they're going to hire, but we'll see what happens when that comes. But now they can go ahead and enjoy Cancun. John Morant got injured, so I hope he gets healthy. But the Grizzlies just look bad. They look bad this entire series, honestly, other than that game when John Morant was healthy and they were up 29 points. But other than that, they can't they just couldn't get a win. And we may have another team to talk about soon to put in here because there's another team that's on the verge of being swept. But right now, Memphis Grizzlies are in the doghouse.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
This next one, this has been talked about throughout the entire weekend. And the NFL draft has just concluded. Congrats to all the players that got drafted and all the undrafted free agents that were signed. There were a lot of deserving players that got drafted. There's some controversy ones that did not get drafted, of course. And I mean, if you look at what happened, then you can understand why they weren't drafted. They could be a terrific player on the field, but you know how things are now. If you're doing something off the field, then it's almost like being a bad person at a regular job. Because at the end of the day, working as an athlete is a job. It's a job. So if you do something outside that people don't agree with, then you more than likely may not represent that shield. So, with that being said, I am putting the NFL in the doghouse. Now, why is the NFL being put in the doghouse? The NFL is being put in the doghouse because everyone saw what happened to Shedeur Sanders. Everyone saw what happened to Shedeur Sanders. And I'm not going to make this a race thing. I'm just going to talk about what the guy did on the field. Because if you look at what he accomplished in college, there was a consensus right before, I want to say at least a week before the NFL draft came, where he was a consensus top 5 pick. He was going to be the second quarterback taken in the draft. Then you hear that there was a lot of controversy around his interviews, and his interviews weren't going well. And a lot of people didn't think that he was really that good on tape. If you look at his last game in BYU in the bowl game, it actually didn't help him. I'll be honest, it didn't help him. But there is no way that people can tell me about all of these quarterbacks that were drafted before him. Cam Ward was the consensus number 1 overall pick, and I'm a University of Miami fan. So I am very glad that he got the opportunity to get drafted number 1 overall, and he's going to wear number 1. Warren Moon definitely gave him the jersey so that he can wear number 1. But outside of Cam Ward, the consensus was the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft was Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. They both kind of sort of had the same, well, I won't say the same thing, but they kind of had the same path. They both played in schools that were not D1. Cam Ward played for Incarnate Word, and Shedeur Sanders started out at Jackson State. And of course, it was with his father. But you had Tyler Show get drafted before him. You had Dylan Gabriel get drafted before him. You had Jalen Milroe get drafted before him. From what I remember, none of those quarterbacks were better than him in college football. He was the most accurate, of course. Not the most athletic, though, but still the most accurate. He has a strong enough arm to complete passes, and he was pretty much running for his life almost his entire career. Especially in Colorado, his offensive line was not good. But Tyler Show, I didn't even hear his name being considered as the quarterback drafted until the week of the draft, honestly. Now, I heard names like Jackson Dart, and I called it. I knew the Giants would draft him. But even in that situation, I mean, to me, it made more sense to draft Jackson Dart because you have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston there. But who I would have drafted, me more than likely, I wouldn't have signed those two quarterbacks. I probably would have signed one of them and then drafted Shadur Sanders. That's what I would have done if I was, them. But hey, they drafted Abdul Carter. That's a really good pick. I'm not mad at that. And they got Jackson Dart. So it makes more sense in their eyes. But all the other, even the Browns. Yeah, the Browns ended up drafting him in the 5th round, but they drafted Dylan Gabriel before they drafted him. Dylan Gabriel is not a better quarterback than him. Will Howard also got drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, when Tyler Show got drafted, we were live on the show, and I announced it live on the show. I just didn't understand how he would be drafted before Shadur Sanders. There's nothing he did in the combine or nothing he put on tape that was better than what Shadur Sanders did. Absolutely nothing. But he's a Kellen Moore type of player. I guess so. I still need answers for all the other quarterbacks that were drafted before him. And then, not just that. Something else happened to Shadur Sanders in that draft. Do you know that he got, well, everyone knows it now. He got a prank call during that draft. He wasn't the only one, but in his circumstances, it looked really bad because he got a prank call by Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's 21-year-old son, Jax Ulbricht, basically telling him that he has to wait longer. And guess what he did? He had to wait longer. What makes this even worse is because the number that he called was only given to NFL executives. So that means somehow, some way, he got Shadur Sanders' number from his dad. Now, I know that Tyler Warren got a prank call as well. Tyler Warren was a 1st-round pick, so it didn't hurt him that much. And I understand it. If you look at the draft coverage was mainly on Shadur Sanders. I understand it, but that's because we all saw and believed that he should have been at least the 2nd quarterback taken in this draft. But yes, the Browns drafted him in the 1st round, but the Browns passed on him. The Raiders passed on him. The Raiders, Tom Brady is a part of the ownership group. He trained with Shadur Sanders, and he passed up on him. Steelers passed up on him multiple times. Now, there are other teams that passed up on him, but it wasn't that much talk from these other teams. They at least have starting quarterbacks in place. The Browns had Joe Flacco at the time and Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson, of course. How were they okay with that at the time? And then going to go draft Dylan Gabriel before you draft Shadur Sanders? How many Oregon quarterbacks are going to come out and get drafted high and not do nothing in the NFL? The only one that's done something is Justin Herbert, and he hasn't even won a playoff game yet. He's 0-2 in the playoffs. 0-2. Not one playoff win yet. Marcus Mariota, he's a backup. Name another Oregon quarterback that's doing something in the NFL. It's just like Alabama quarterbacks. The only one you can say is doing something now is Jalen Hurts, but you can't consider that Alabama quarterback because he went to Oklahoma. Tua is doing something, but he doesn't have a playoff win. Yes, I get it. He played at Colorado, but if you look at the circumstances, he played well in bad conditions. The offensive line sucked, and he still played well. He got them to 9-3, where teams and fans, media people were calling Colorado, had said Colorado had the worst roster in the country. Y'all do know there's over 100 college football teams, right? So that means that they have the worst out of 100 plus teams. And he got them to 9-3 in a bowl game. Just saying. Just saying. NFL, what you did was what happened that night, what happened throughout this weekend through the draft was absolutely wrong. And y'all know it was wrong. So NFL, y'all know what y'all was doing. Y'all in the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse. Now this next one, as I said, is going to be a touchy subject. But if y'all know me, if y'all have followed me while I've been doing this sports on this network with my guys Joe and Tomo and all the other guys that's a part of the network, y'all know I'm not prone to to leaving these subjects alone. I like to talk about these. So there is a alleged case against someone who is a huge TV and media and social media personality and a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Yes, I am talking about Shannon Sharpe. Now, am I throwing him in here because of the case? Somewhat, yes. I'm not saying that he's innocent, nor am I saying that he's guilty. The issue with this case is who's involved. Shannon Sharpe, a man, a father that's almost 60 plus years old. Almost 60 plus years old with daughters. Decided that it would be okay to mess with a 19-year-old girl. Yes, she's an OnlyFans model. But she's 19 years old. Shannon Sharpe. I really don't understand what was going through your head during this time. But Shannon Sharpe, you are well known enough to be able to have gotten into this with someone at least in their 30s, 40s. She's 19. She hasn't even been out of high school that long. You have daughters that are much older than she is. And you, like I said, you're almost 60 years old. I'm 30. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in August. That's just not smart, and that is morally wrong. Morally wrong. Yeah, of course, it's not illegal. It is not illegal. But let's be honest. That is just one of the that's something that a lot of people are going to frown at. Especially men with daughters. Especially men with daughters. Because, I mean, frankly, you come off as if you wouldn't do something like this. That's what a lot of people see when it comes to Shannon Sharpe, or as we call you, Unc. You're our TV Unc. Everyone refers to you Unc. People don't even call you Shannon Sharpe anymore. They call you Unc. And this is horribly bad. Now, like I said, whether you're innocent or guilty, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. Because you're innocent until proven guilty according to the law. So I hope for your sake that this is just an accusation and it's not true. But I also hope that if it is true, that justice is served to you and the other way around. I hope justice is served for you if this is not true. But I also hope that you're looking at this and you're looking at your daughters and you're like, okay, that's probably a road I shouldn't have gone down. What you do outside of work is none of my business. But this is out there now. And she was 19 years old at the time. She's 20 now, but she was 19 years old at the time. I have nieces that are that age. I just this is just wrong, Shannon. It's just wrong. It's wrong. Like I said, the legal part, you have to handle that. And I understand now you've stepped down from ESPN for a little while until the preseason comes, and that's time to spend with your family and to get this resolved as much as possible. But it also doesn't look good when you offered her when you offered her $10 million. And a lot of people are saying this is a shakedown. It may well possibly be because it was reported that Shannon Sharp was going to get a $100 million plus contract, and now the lawsuit is asking for $50 million. So it looks like a shakedown. But Shannon, this is just me talking to you as a father. I know a lot of men with daughters who have lost a lot of respect for you because of what you did. Well, I won't say what you did because of who you did it with and how old she was and how old you are. It's not right. Does not look good. And it looks like something else. So, Shannon, I'm hoping that this gets resolved for both parties. And to the young lady, I hope that justice is served for you if this did happen to you. But I also hope that you are not just doing a shakedown. So, Shannon Sharp, because of your moral decisions, you are in the doghouse. My guy, you in the doghouse. All right, now we get to the better part of the show when we talk about the dogs of the week. There is a player in baseball who I have become a huge fan of. And I believe that he has an opportunity to lead his team into the playoffs this season and possibly win the MVP this season. If you watch BWT, you know that this guy who I talked about has been on a tear lately. And as I said, he's one of my favorite players. He plays for the Royals, and he's just my guy. Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr., I am putting as a dog of the week this week because Bobby Witt Jr. are of only He's one of two active players at this moment to have multiple 10 triple seasons. Only him and Corbin Carroll have done that, and they have played a combined 6 seasons. He has the third highest single season wins above replacement since 2021. And there's only one person above him, and that's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has two. His is 10.8 and 10.5. Bobby Wood Jr. is 9.4. That's above Shohei Ohtani and Gunnar Henderson. And 469 career games, Bobby Wood Jr. has 538 hits, 110 stolen bases, 82 home runs, and 28 triples. The only other person to do that in history is Barry Bonds. So that lets you know he's in some really good, he's in a really good. He's in a good spot. He just recently had a 15+ game hit streak as well. The Royals are a really good team, and Bobby Witt Jr. to me is their best player on the team. I think that's without question. He's young, he's fast, he can hit, and he can play defense. He's one of the best players in Major League. My favorite player is Mookie Betts. My guy just won a World Series title with the Dodgers. So Mookie Betts, my guy. But Bobby Witt Jr. is definitely one of the best young players in the league that is just electrifying. You never know exactly what you're going to get from him in that game. You know he's going to do something really good and really electric. Might steal a base when you least expect it. Calls a triple play. Steal a home run. The guy is just amazing. It's really good to watch him play. Him, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt Jr., Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, Fernando Tatis. There's a lot of really good players in the team. Jarren Duran for my Red Sox. Alex Bregman, who's been balling for us this year. So there's a lot of players that I would love to see Bobby Witt Jr. in the Red Sox jersey. Might not ever happen, but I would love to see it. But Bobby Witt Jr. is he a dog, man. He a dog. So keep it short and sweet. Bobby Witt Jr. is a dog. And as I said before, I believe he has an opportunity to win he has a really good opportunity to win the MVP this year. At least get a Gold Glove. He could be a Silver Slugger as well. I believe he has all the tools to help his team get to the playoffs and possibly make it to the championship game. Now, whether they win it and get to the World Series, I don't know, but he definitely has an opportunity to do that along with his manager. So you are a dog, Bobby Witt Jr. Down to my last two. And as I said before, the NBA playoffs are going on. I have one team in the dog house. And another one that's a dog. And this is the team that eliminated that team. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the second straight season that the Oklahoma City Thunder have swept their way into the second round. Second time. The only team that may be competition to them is possibly the Clippers. Maybe. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Who knows? The Nuggets. We'll see. Can't say the Lakers. The Lakers just lost today. They're down 3-1. Anthony Edwards just put up 43 in that game. But man, the Oklahoma City Thunder are a heck of a team. They have the highest plus minus this playoffs and more than one. Plus 61, plus 53, plus 52, plus 46, plus 44, plus 43, and plus 38. This team are really good. Really, really good. It's almost like you don't know how to stop them. The Thunder are the favorites to go and win it all this season. In the last game to complete the sweep, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the more than likely the MVP of the season, put up 38 points, 5 rebounds, 66 shot, 54% from the field. Paul Pierce believes that if the Thunder played the Timberwolves, that they would get bounced. Maybe we see that. Maybe we see that coming in the championship game. We don't know. It's a matchup that possibly could happen. But we still have to wait and see. The Thunder, man. It's been a heck of a season for them, becoming the second youngest, 2 years in a row, the second youngest team to clinch a number 1 seed in all of basketball. And they just seem to keep on winning. I have them as favorites to win the title as well, because I don't necessarily see someone in the West that can stop them. Now, the one team that could definitely be scary, depending on how things go, is the Clippers. It could be the Clippers. It could be the Timberwolves. I'm not sure. But everyone else, I believe they can handle them pretty well. I don't believe the Warriors would have much of a chance. I don't believe that then again, the Warriors can cause problems with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. I just don't see a scenario where it happens. The Thunder have been the best team at basketball just about all season. If not them, it's been Cleveland and Boston, but no one else has been better than them. They have much more wins than anyone else in the West. I believe they have a 10-plus lead from what they've done. And now they're resting because they swept their way into the next round for the second straight season. Now, it all didn't go well for them last time because they didn't get to the championship game. They lost in the second round. But man, I'm telling you, this looks like they have an opportunity to go all the way and win it all. And they handled the Grizzlies pretty handily. And in the first 2 games, SGA didn't even play particularly great because he didn't need to. Everyone else was balling. And you saw the numbers when I talked about the Grizzlies. They just didn't play well. They didn't have a player score over 20-plus points in each game. I mean, average. Jaren Jackson Jr., who was in the Defensive Player of the Year, finalist, couldn't even average double-digit rebounds. He only averaged 5 rebounds per game. That's not going to help you win. But with Isaiah Hartenstein, J-Dub, Kassan Wallace, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet, the other Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, this team, they just find ways to win. And they're dogs. And down to my last one as the big dog of the week. The big dog for this week's show of Dave Doghouse is a guy who a lot of people wasn't sure would even be healthy during these playoffs. But during these playoffs, this player particularly has played great. And this player I'm speaking of is none other than Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard they were up 2-1. I understand that they lost in the last game. But Kawhi Leonard is averaging just about 27 points per game right now. Averaging almost 8 rebounds per game, about 4 assists, almost 2 steals in this series. There's been a lot of questions about his health. And let me tell you something. He looks very healthy to me. And that should cause some danger and a lot of eyes when it comes to the Clippers. Last game, he did not shoot particularly well. 10 of 22, 2 of 5 from 3, which is not bad. 24 points, 9 rebounds. Pretty good. The game before, Kawhi, 21 points, 7 of 17, 3 of 6 from the field, 11 rebounds. Okay. You say, okay. How did that garnish him getting that? Well, if you look at the first 2 games, he was phenomenal. In game 2, Kawhi Leonard shot 15 of 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 39 points, 3 rebounds, along with 5 assists. He also had 2 steals and a block in that game. His plus minus was +6, so it's not that high. I get it. And even in the first game when they lost, he still had a phenomenal. He still played good. 22 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Kawhi Leonard if Kawhi Leonard is healthy and he's playing like this is a team that I believe can knock out the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because what Kawhi Leonard has shown that if he's healthy, he can take over a series. He gave the Raptors their very first championship in their history. Now, I get it. There were a lot of things that happened around that time to where, there were injuries that happened to where people just couldn't stop them. But they still won the title. He won the title with the Spurs. The only thing is health. If he's healthy, we know what he can do. Kawhi Leonard is a dog, man. They call him the Claw for a reason. Yeah, y'all ever seen Toy Story and they point up the Claw? That's him. That's Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is that mesmerizing when on the court because he can change things offensively and defensively, especially if he's shooting like he did in game 2. 15 and 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. All I'm saying is it can get really dangerous for teams in the West if Kawhi Leonard stays healthy throughout this entire playoffs. He can cause havoc. And Kawhi can put the Clippers in position to win their very first NBA title and get to their very first finals. Something they have not witnessed. Kawhi Leonard is that good. And I mean, it helps that he has James Harden and Zubac and Norman Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., Ben Simmons, who's been playing really good defensively. But don't forget, Kawhi Leonard is a great defensive player too. Really, really good defensive player. So, I mean, Kawhi, what you gonna do? It's 2-2 now. It's tied. It's basically 0-0. You got 2 games to win. You gonna carry him over? We want you to. I want to see you healthy. I want you to stay healthy. I want to see you. I want to see what the Clippers are capable of with you fully healthy. That's been the question for a while. Clippers are scary. Clippers are scary. Clippers are scary. We've heard this every single year. You play all 4 games so far, and you don't look hurt. Let's see how far you can take him, Kawhi. But for now, you're the big dog. That concludes Dave's Doghouse for this week. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Appreciate my guy Tomo with the comment when it came to the print calls for Shadir Sanders. Yes, they were definitely going crazy during the draft. But thank y'all again for always tuning in, man. And we'll see you Tuesday on R2L, and later this week you'll see me on Dave's Doghouse again. So y'all have a really good day, and tune into In the Red Corner, which will be live in about 14 minutes on YouTube. So peace out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.